So when I was planning to get a credit card last year, the key selling point for me was the 70,000 sign-on bonus points they were offering. For context, that would have been about $1,000 in values that I could redeem on flights. I was like, yeah, sign me on. But thinking about it, I know and you know that money is coming from somewhere. Someone is paying for it. So the question is, who is? Now, what I like to believe that we Canadians are generally very nice people and very polite. I don't think that all of that niceness extends to the banks, the hotels, and the airlines that give us these seemingly free points. So in this video, I would explain the system and economics behind Canadian travel rewards and why they exist. But before we get into any of that, and before we talk about any single program or any single card, there are three things I want to say up front. One, this video is not financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. I am not even a financial advisor. What I can do is explain how these systems work, how they're structured, who benefits, and like the key things to watch out for. What you do with that information is completely your decision. And ideally one that you should make with a finance professional who knows and understands your own specific situation. Number two is that disciplined credit card use matters way more than points. And I actually need you to remember this above everything else I will talk about in this video. There's no amount of travel rewards that would outweigh the cost of carrying a credit card balance at 19.99% to like 22.99 annual interest rate. Some even go as high as like 29.99%. If you're carrying a balance month to month, whatever interest you pay would exceed the value of every point you earn. So the foundation of any reward strategy is that you pay your balance in full every single month without exception. Now, if that's not your current reality, the rewards conversation is not the one you should be having right now. And number three is the simplicity beats optimization. Now, there's this version of travel rewards arcane that is often told that involves holding like 6 to 8 credit cards, tracking the bonus categories across all of them, timing the applications for you to get the maximum sign-up bonuses, and like managing the annual fee renewals on the spreadsheet. Some people genuinely enjoy that, and that's okay for them. But for most people, that's a lot of administrative stress in exchange for just a very small benefit that really does not justify the complexity. Because more cards mean you have more accounts to track, more minimum payments to remember, and there's a very high risk that you will forget to pay the balance on one of them. And that would completely erode whatever savings the points were supposed to generate. So that being said, the best rewards program is always the simplest one that fits your actual life and keeps you organized. So keep these three things in mind as we go through the landscape. Now, before we get into the economics, a few additional things that you should know is that the programs and the cards that we would look at are relevant whether you're traveling within Canada or internationally. So if you accumulate travel points through any of the credit cards, you can use this to book flights in Canada or outside of Canada. So for example, if you have Aeroplan points, you can use it for a domestic Canadian flight or for an international flight. And also, there are some other factors that should be part of your card decision. I will talk through all of them throughout the video. For example, like the annual fees. Some of these travel rewards card carry annual fees that range from anywhere from $0 to like $120 to even as high as $500 for the premium tiers. Whether you want to pay that fee or not depends entirely on what the card includes, whether you actually use the benefits, and we'll talk about all of this later, how you can think through that math. And next is foreign transaction fees. Some of the travel rewards cards charge a fee on purchases made in foreign currency. So if you're traveling internationally outside of Canada regularly, and you have to put expenses on those cards while you're outside of Canada, that fee can add up over time. Some cards actually waive the foreign transaction fees, but some do not. So it's worth knowing before you decide which one to apply for. Another point is that some of these cards have travel benefits, some do not. So some have things like lounge access, travel insurance, trip cancellation coverage, emergency medical benefits, but some of them don't. So you need to read the fine print. Another key point is these cards also have different earn rates by categories. So depending on whether you're spending at a grocery store, spending on flights, what you earn, and like the points you accumulate could differ. All right, let's get into the economics. To understand why travel rewards program exists, we need to understand how they are funded. One key funding mechanism is interchange fees. Now, every time you tap a credit card at a grocery store or a coffee shop or your favorite restaurant, or even when you pay for online transactions, like when you pay for your flight on an airline's website, or when you're buying your ticket for a Blue Jays game, part of the merchant processing fee flows to the bank that issued your card. So TD Bank or RBC or Scotiabank, whichever one of these banks issue the credit card you're using, they get a fee for each of the transaction that is made when you use your card. That fee is called the interchange rate, and it usually represents a percentage of the transaction value. The rewards in your loyalty program, whatever loyalty program you have, are funded largely by that fee. According to a US research, about 86% of these fees fund rewards program. And yes, I know we're talking about Canadian credit cards, but the US did the research. And honestly, it works the same way in Canada as well. So the more you spend on a rewards card, the more interchange your bank collects and the more program they can fund. So it's from this fee that we get to enjoy all of the travel points and the travel rewards freebie. I like to see it as a very effective wealth redistribution strategy. So this is where we say thank you very much to the banks for their service. Although honestly, they make enough money from this as well, so it's not so much of a generous offer. Another source for funding this rewards program is the annual fees. Many rewards cards charge an annual fee. Some cards are free, but many of them, especially the ones that give you a whole lot more rewards, have an annual fee. And that fee is a direct revenue to the bank and helps fund these programs. It funds the programs, it funds the benefit packages, and the acquisition costs to bring you on as a cardholder. So when a premium card is charging like $399 or $599 per year, those fees are actually doing the work in sustaining what the card offers, like lounge access, the travel insurance, the concierge services. They are not exactly free gifts. They are features that are funded in part by the fee that you pay every year to hold the card. Another source is interest income. And it also makes up quite a significant portion of the revenue that makes this rewards program economically viable. So for cardholders that carry a balance from month to month and are paying interest rates of around 19.99% or 22.99% annually, they are the ones subsidizing the travel rewards that other cardholders enjoy. It's also for this reason that the most important thing I said at the start of this video is that you need to pay your balance in full every month. That is very important. So these three sources, the interchange fees, the annual fees, and the interest income, they all work together to make that reward system sustainable for the banks and for the card networks that run them. If you have friends or families in the US, I'm sure at some point you've had to listen to them brag and go on and on and on about how they got a business class seat to Asia for free, or how they got 3 nights hotel stay in Bora Bora for free. And you may have been wondering what exactly you're doing wrong and why you as a Canadian just cannot get nice things. I want to let you know that you are not doing anything wrong. Rewards program in the US actually tend to be more generous, and they have bigger sign-up bonuses, they have higher earn rates, they have more valuable redemptions, but this is mostly tied to the interchange economics we just spoke about earlier. In the United States, premium credit card interchange rates regularly run at 2% or higher, and there is no government-mandated cap on consumer credit interchange. Although I would add that there's a new bill that is being introduced that may change completely how this operates. But for now, there is no cap. In Canada, Visa, the network, has voluntarily committed to maintaining domestic consumer credit interchange at a weighted average of around 1.4%. And the Canadian government has also finalized agreements with Visa and MasterCard to lower that rate even further for small businesses. And they're targeting around 0.95% for eligible merchants. So since we essentially have lower interchange rates, which is what makes up the bulk of the revenue for this rewards program, by implication, we have less budget to fund rewards from. So that ceiling on Canadian rewards program is structurally constrained by the interchange rates that fund them. But you can let your friends and families in the state know that at least we are free okay in Canada. And that's, in my opinion, better than any single travel rewards program ever. So we get bragging rights for that. The Canadian travel rewards landscape looks a little bit complicated. There are many cards with many different programs. So to make it simple, I will map them into 5 categories. Type 1 are the airline loyalty programs, and these are run by the airlines themselves. Type 2 are the bank-operated points program run by the banks. Type 3 are the co-branded airline credit cards. They are bank-issued cards that earn airline currency. Type 4 are the hotel loyalty programs run by the hotel chains. And then type 5 is the cashback cards and the retail loyalty programs. These ones have no travel utility whatsoever, and sometimes they are mistaken for travel rewards card. Now, let's go through each one by one. The airline loyalty programs are run by the airlines themselves. The points live in the airline's ecosystem. They are redeemable primarily for flights on that airline or for any of its partners, and in some cases, even for hotels. And in Canada, there are three main players here. We have Aeroplan, WestJet Rewards, and Air Miles. Aeroplan is Canada's original airline loyalty program, and it was launched by Air Canada in 1984. One of the upper hands that Aeroplan actually has is the breadth of its partner airline network. It has one of the broadest airline partner networks in the world. So Air Canada, all of the Star Alliance carriers like United, Lufthansa, Singapore Airlines, plus other bilateral partners like Emirates, Etihad, Cathay Pacific. Why can't I pronounce that? Cathay Pacific. So essentially, you can redeem your Aeroplan points for flights on any of these partner airlines. And then there's WestJet Rewards, and this works a little bit differently. So where Aeroplan uses points that you need to convert, WestJet Rewards uses WestJet dollars. So that's actual dollar value that works like cash rewards towards a WestJet flight. And in reality, it's very simple and very straightforward. One WestJet dollar equals $1 of a WestJet flight. That's it. The WestJet RBC World Elite MasterCard is one of the primary ways to earn WestJet dollars through credit card spend. And it includes an annual round-trip companion voucher, a free first check bag on WestJet flights. All of these are benefits with tangible value if you fly WestJet frequently. But that simplicity is also where the limitation is. The WestJet dollars are only redeemable within the WestJet ecosystem. They don't have any partner airlines or hotel redemptions. And unlike Aeroplan, you cannot transfer your points to any other program. I'll note, however, that WestJet Rewards underwent a significant refresh in April 2025 and expanded its partner network. So now it has new partners like Tellers and Skip the Dishes, and an e-store for online retail redemptions. But the core simplicity of the program is still the same. The WestJet points work like cash towards WestJet flights and have equal value. So one WestJet point is $1. But now the air network is broader than it was a couple of years ago. And next is Air Miles. So Air Miles is a little bit unusual here. It's not owned by any airline. It used to be run by Loyalty One, but it went bankrupt and then it was acquired by BMO. But it functions structurally like an airline program. So you earn Air Miles primarily through the retail partner spending, like spending at Shell, Rexall, Metro, and many other everyday merchants. Some BMO credit cards actually also earn Air Miles through the card spending. And this program has two distinct currencies. There's the cash miles, where you can redeem for everyday purchases at partner retailers. And then there's the dream miles that you can redeem for travel, flights, hotel, vacation packages. So for Canadians that shop at any of the Air Miles partners and want a travel option attached to their grocery spending, it's a solid program. Later this year, in the summer of 2026, BMO is actually planning to convert the Air Miles into Blue Rewards, which will be a completely different rewards program. Next, we have the bank-operated rewards program, and these are issued and managed by the banks directly. So the bank creates its own points currency, which you can redeem through the bank's own travel portal at a fixed rate, or in some cases, you can transfer to other airlines or to other hotel programs. And first on the list is we have the American Express membership rewards, and this is the most flexible points currency available to Canadian cardholders. Amex issues its own cards under the Cobalt, the Gold, the Platinum, and the Business tiers. And the points you earn here can be redeemed through any of Amex's own travel portal, or you can transfer to multiple airlines and hotel programs. The flexibility of this rewards program is one of its key defining features because you can actually just direct it to whatever redemption option makes the most sense for your situation at that time. One important caveat I will note is that Amex is not accepted as all of Canadian merchants. So if you have an Amex credit card, you probably also want to hold a backup Visa or MasterCard in your wallet. And under the Amex membership rewards, we have cards like the American Express Cobalt card, the Amex Gold Rewards card, the Platinum card, the Business Gold Rewards card, the Business Platinum cards. And next we have the RBC Avion Rewards, which is run by RBC and is one of Canada's largest bank-owned loyalty program. This one uses a fixed redemption chart, meaning the points can cover flights at a predictable, consistent rate. And your Avion points also transfer to a selection of airline partners like British Airways, American Airways, Cathay Pacific. And here we have cards like the RBC Avion Visa Infinite, the RBC Avion Visa Infinite Privilege cards. And next is the TD Rewards run by TD Bank. And this is one of Canada's flexible travel points program. So you earn points through the TD travel credit cards and you redeem them through Expedia for TD Portal for any flight or any hotel on Expedia covered by your points. One important point here is that TD also issues Aeroplan co-branded credit cards that earn Aeroplan points, but these are not TD Rewards points. So they are completely different products issued by the same bank. Under the TD Rewards program, we have the TD First Class Travel Visa Infinite. So the points you earn through the TD First Class Travel Visa Infinite card are not transferable to Aeroplan. And then we have the MBNA Rewards, which is owned by TD Bank. The MBNA Rewards points redeemed for travel at a fixed rate through the MBNA Travel Portal. And under here is the MBNA Rewards World Elite MasterCard. The next is the BMO Rewards, run by BMO. BMO actually uses a statement credit model. So you can book your travel anywhere you choose with any airline, any hotel, whatever platform, and then you apply your points as a statement credit against that purchase. So that way you're not restricted to a single bank portal or a specific airline. BMO also issues co-branded cards, which we'll talk about later, the BMO VIP Porter MasterCard that was introduced in 2025, which earn Porter Airlines miles directly, but this is completely separate from the BMO Rewards point. So under the BMO Rewards, we have the cards like the BMO Ascend World Elite MasterCard, the BMO Eclipse Visa Infinite card. And then we have the CIBC Aventura, which is CIBC's travel rewards program, and it uses a fixed destination zone chart for flight redemptions through the Aventura Travel Center. You can also apply the Aventura points as a statement credit against any travel purchase. The Visa Infinite tier category cards also include lounge access through Dragon Pass. And lastly is the Scotiabank SimPlus, managed by Scotiabank. So SimPlus actually began initially as Scotiabank's partnership with Simplex, but now it has grown into one of Canada's most used everyday loyalty programs. So through Scotiabank credit cards and with your spending at any of the Empire Company grocery stores like Sobeys, Safeway, Freshco, you can earn SimPlus points that are redeemable for travel through SimPlus Travel, powered by Expedia at a simple fixed rate. Those same points you can also use at the Empire grocery store and at Simplex Theatre. But one thing is, SimPlus does not transfer to Aeroplan or to any other airline program. The points all live within the SimPlus ecosystem. And for the credit cards under these programs, we have the Scotiabank Gold American Express card, the Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite card, the Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite Privilege, the Scotia Platinum American Express card, and the Scotia SimPlus Visa card. Now, the third type are the co-branded airline credit cards, which are bank-issued products with a commercial agreement between the bank and the airline. So the bank issues and administers the card, the airline runs the loyalty program. So you will earn airline's own currency directly through your credit card spending. These co-branded cards are a way to earn airline points, but the same airline points, as we will discuss later on, can also be earned through other non-credit card means. So under here, we have the Aeroplan co-branded cards. Multiple Canadian cards issue Aeroplan co-branded cards. So the banks like TD, CIBC, American Express, they have their own commercial agreement with Air Canada, and each issue cards with somewhat different end structures and benefits, but they all earn the same Aeroplan currency deposited into the same Aeroplan account. So the major options here are the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite, which is one of the most popular travel cards in Canada. And it hands Aeroplan points on everyday spend with accelerated rates on Air Canada purchases. And then there's the CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite card, which is very similar to the TD version, also hands Aeroplan points, but also includes comparable travel insurance package. And then there's the MX Aeroplan card, which earns around 3x Aeroplan points on Air Canada and Air Canada vacations. I think 2 times on dining and food delivery in Canada, 1.25x everywhere else. Now, regardless of what bank issued the card, all the Aeroplans flow into the same Aeroplan account. So you need to first create your Aeroplan account, link your card, and all your points, depending on which of these Aeroplan co-branded cards you have, will flow into your Aeroplan account. And you can redeem the points on any Air Canada flights, any of the Star Alliance partners, any of the bilateral partners like Emirates, Etihad, Japan Airlines. Aeroplan also actually offers hotel redemptions through its travel partners. So you can also use your points to redeem free hotel night stays. And next is the WestJet co-branded card. So RBC issues 2 WestJet co-branded cards, the WestJet RBC World Elite MasterCard and the WestJet RBC MasterCard. Both cards earn WestJet dollars directly, which you can redeem on WestJet flights. The World Elite version actually includes annual companion voucher and a free first check bag. And next is the BMO Porter VI Porter or VIP Porter. Next is the BMO Porter VI Porter co-branded card, which was introduced in 2025. And under this, we have the World Elite tier at $199 annually and a standard tier at $89. Both of them earn VI Porter miles that you can redeem on Porter Airlines flights. Although I would say Porter majorly flies within Eastern Canada and to select US destinations. But if you fly Porter Airlines regularly, especially if you fly from Billy Bishop Airport, this will be a solid program for you. And then under this category, we also have the International Airline co-branded cards. So for Canadians that are loyal to specific international carriers, there are some select options available. For example, the RBC British Airways Visa Infinite card, it hands British Airways Avios points that you can redeem across the One World Alliance. There's also the Cathay World Elite MasterCard and the United Mileage Plus Neo World Elite MasterCard. Both are issued by Neo Financial and they earn Asia Miles and United Mileage Plus Miles respectively. So these are useful for Canadians that have established loyalty to any of the specific airlines. The fourth type of rewards program is the hotel loyalty programs, and these are run by the hotel chains. They are not in any way affiliated with the banks or the airlines. So you earn points through your hotel stays paid with the co-branded credit card where it's applicable, and you can redeem it primarily for hotel nights, for room upgrades, and for experiences. In Canada, there is just one major hotel co-branded credit card available to consumers, and that's the Marriott Bonvoy American Express card. The Marriott Bonvoy is the most comprehensive hotel loyalty program available to Canadians, and its portfolio covers around 30 hotel brands across many properties worldwide. So the Marriott, Sheraton, Westin, W Hotels, Ritz-Carlton, St. Regis, Courtyard, 4 Points, many of them. So you can redeem your points for hotel nights across any of those brands. Bonvoy actually also has a relationship with Aeroplan, so your Aeroplan points can be transferred into Marriott Bonvoy for hotel redemptions as well. For the other hotel programs, the Hilton Honors, the World of Hyatt, the IAG One Rewards, there are currently, as at 2026, there are no Canadian co-branded credit cards available. So points under these programs are only earned through hotel stays, not through credit card spending. The last category under the rewards program are the cashback cards and the retail loyalty programs. The cashback cards have no travel utility whatsoever, but they have real monetary value and they are not limited to any retailer. So you earn cash as a statement credit or as a deposit into your account, but you don't get points and you can't link to any travel rewards. The cards under this includes the Scotiabank Momentum Visa Infinite Card, the Neo World Elite MasterCard, the TD Cashback Visa Infinite Card, the Rogers Red World Elite MasterCard, the BMO Cashback World Elite MasterCard, the American Express Simply Cash Preferred Card, the Simply Financial Cashback Visa Card, the CIBC Dividend Visa Infinite Card, the World Simple Visa Infinite Privilege Card, which is a very new one. Similar to this is the Retail Loyalty Program, except the difference with this is the points are locked to specific retailers, but they also have zero travel utility value, but they are commonly mistaken for travel rewards. So here you earn points that are redeemable only within a specific retail ecosystem. So for example, your PC Optimum points are redeemable only at Loblaws. Your Triangle points redeem at Canadian Tires. These are very different from the cashback cards because the currency or the points, so to say, are locked to one single retailer. And Canada has a very wild retail loyalty program, which are very excellent programs, but they are not travel programs. So it's very good to not confuse them as travel rewards program. You cannot apply them to any airline, to any hotel stay. So under this, we have the PC Optimum, which is one of the most widely held loyalty programs in Canada. And you can earn points through your purchases at any of the Loblaw banner stores or through your spending on your PC Financial MasterCard. So if you spend at Loblaws, No Frills, Rick Canadian Superstore, Shoppers Drug Mart, Joe Fresh, or Esso and Mobile stations, you would earn. You can also redeem the points at checkouts at any of the stores I just mentioned. But you cannot redeem them for flights, you cannot redeem them for hotels, you cannot transfer to Aeroplan, to SimPlus, or to any of the other programs that have travel utility. And then there's also the Canadian Tire Triangle Rewards. The Triangle Rewards earn city money, redeemable at Canadian Tire, SpotCheck, Max. These have strong value within the Canadian Tire ecosystem, but again, they also have zero travel redemption. It's worth knowing that RBC has a partnership with Canadian Tire that allows RBC cardholders to earn city money at Canadian Tire. But it's not exactly a point conversion between Avion and Triangle Rewards. The city money will still stay within the Triangle Rewards and can only be used within the Canadian Tire ecosystem. So they're completely different points, completely different program. And then there's also the petrol points, which is earned at Petrol Canada stations, which you can redeem for fuel discounts and merchandise, but also not redeemable for travel. Now, one key point that makes the Aeroplan Rewards program quite different is Aeroplan is not just a credit card program. It's actually a commercial network, and the credit card is just one way to connect to it. So your Aeroplan membership number is the connection point to the different other partner programs. So aside from your Aeroplan co-branded credit card, which you can earn Aeroplan's points through, you can also earn Aeroplans through different means. So for example, through hotel stays. So if you stay at an hotel that has a commercial agreement with Aeroplan, and there are quite a number of them in Canada, including the boutique ones like the Drake Devonshire Inn in Prince Edward County, you can provide your Aeroplan number at check-in and you would earn points on your stay. You don't need any Aeroplan credit card for this. So this is assuming that you already have an Aeroplan account. Another way to earn Aeroplan points is through car rental. So Aeroplan partners with Budgets, Avis, Payless for you to earn points through your car rentals. So you provide your member number at booking and you earn points on your rental. I've actually mentioned this before in some of my travel cost breakdown videos about how I earn Aeroplan points for my budget car rental. Another way is through Uber and Uber Eats. So if you link your Aeroplan account to your Uber account through the Uber app, you would earn Aeroplan points on eligible rides and Uber Eats orders without using an Aeroplan credit card at all. Now, the rates vary by the ride type. With premium and airport rides, you earn higher rates, but the mechanism is still the same as every other Aeroplan partner. Uber has the commercial agreement with Air Canada that specifies how many points are awarded per transaction, and Uber pays these points as a customer acquisition and retention cost. And there's also the Aeroplan e-store, where there are quite a number of retailers like Amazon and Apple. If you initiate purchases through this portal, you earn bonus points on your purchases, the purchases you were going to make anyway. And the same principle applies to many other programs. So, for example, WestJet has expanded its everyday earn through Tell Us and Skip the Dishes. SimPlus earns at Empire grocery stores, whether or not you actually pay with a Scotiabank credit card. You provide your SimPlus number at checkout, and you get your points. There's a very interesting part about loyalty programs that many cardholders don't discover until after it has happened to them, and that's called devaluation. So loyalty programs often change their redemption charts because every unredeemed point in a loyalty program is a liability on the issuing institution's balance sheet. It's a future obligation that they have to pay later on. And this can happen through different mechanisms. They can do it through redemption ratio increases, where the same rewards would now cost more points. Or they can also move from fixed pricing to dynamic pricing, where peak routes or very popular routes will cost significantly more. Sometimes they also introduce new fees on what was previously surcharge-free redemptions. They could also change the transfer ratios with partner programs. So if it was 3-1, it could become 4-1 or 2-1. At other times, they also introduce policies where your points expire if you have inactive accounts. So the optimal way is for you to earn and redeem on a reasonable cycle rather than hoarding your points indefinitely. Now, there are common mistakes that many people make with regards to travel rewards points redemption. One mistake is hoarding without a plan. So if you keep accumulating points for years, waiting for the right moment, wait for the right flight, for the right vacation to take, the program may adjust its chart. So there may be devaluation that occurs and your points may not really be what they should be. Another mistake is redeeming for the wrong things. So if you redeem your Aeroplan points, for example, for like merchandise or gift card, that's a significantly lower value. Travel redemptions almost always give the highest returns. So if you're accumulating points in a travel program and redeeming for non-travel items, you are leaving value behind. So for example, a $100 Apple gift card may cost you 14,000 Aeroplan points. But those exact same 14,000 points could cover a short round-trip flight from Toronto to New York that would otherwise cost you $300 in cash. Another mistake people make is confusing retail points for travel points. So the PC Optimum card or the PC Optimum points, for example, have 0 travel rewards. The Canadian Tire card and City Money that is redeemable as Canadian Tire. So it's good to not confuse these points for travel rewards. They are mostly for retail programs and they're not applicable for travel. Another mistake is people mostly confuse the TD cards. Your TD first class travel card is not the same as your TD Aeroplan card. The points you get on the TD first class travel card are not redeemable on Aeroplan flights. With a TD first class travel card, you can only redeem it for flights through the Expedia for TD portal. Another mistake is accumulating too many cards. Like I mentioned this earlier, the version of rewards optimization that revolves you holding multiple, as many as 7-8 credit cards at once to capture different categories is not optimal. For many people, it would introduce too much complexity, the risk of missed payments, and that's not something you want. Another mistake is ignoring the interest rate. So Canadian travel rewards cards carry interest rates of around 19.99 to 22.99% annually. So if you're carrying a month-to-month balance, that interest charge would consume every dollar of rewards value you accumulate. With all of that being said, here are 4 questions that you want to answer about your own specific situation before you decide what program or what credit card to choose. Now, these are not recommendations in any way. They are questions that when you answer honestly, they will point you toward the right answer for your specific life. So you want to look at how exactly you travel. Look at your last 3 trips. Where did you go to? What airlines did you fly? If you fly Air Canada regularly, the Aeroplan ecosystem was built for you. If you live on the West Coast and you primarily fly WestJet on domestic routes, the WestJet co-brand cards companion voucher and the free check bag may deliver more practical value for you. If your travel is mostly road trips or via rail, you probably want to look more at the cashback or statement credit cards. Next, you want to look at how exactly you spend. Look at your last 3 months of real transactions. Where do you get your groceries from? What do you spend on? If groceries are your primary category and if you're spending more at the Empire stores like Metro, for example, the Sim Plus program is the one that is more applicable to your situation. Another question to ask yourself is, will you actually use the benefits? So many of the cards have benefits like lounge access, travel insurance, companion vouchers, Nexus reimbursements. But with many of these cards as well, you actually also pay annual fees. So the math on whether a fee is worth paying depends on whether or not you would use the benefits. So before committing to any annual fee card, list every benefit it includes and honestly assess how you would actually use those benefits in the next 12 months. If the combined value of what you would actually use exceeds the fee, then that card has positive net value and you can actually get it. But if not, maybe a lower fee card is better for you. The last point here is knowing if you actually pay your balance in full every month. And yes, I know I've already said this twice, but third time is the charm, because this matters so much. If the answer is no, and if you're not able to pay your balance in full every month, the rewards conversation is not the right conversation for you. A low interest, no fee credit card is a better choice for you. Or better still, paying with cash or with your debit card is a better choice for you as well. I genuinely hope the framework we've walked through today makes the decision easier for you to make on your own terms for your situation on which travel rewards program or what credit card to get. Now, there's something that's often said during wine tasting. The best wine is the wine that you enjoy. In a similar vein, the best credit card or travel rewards program is the one that works best for your own specific needs. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. I cover everything related to Canada tourism, from inspiration on where to go, where to stay, and analysis into the systems and economics behind how travel works in Canada. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.